What is going on, Supers? Welcome back to another episode of Team Talk for round 23. Let's get into it. So before we do get straight into it, I do have a couple of exciting little things, not to announce, but to kind of just like tease, I guess. A couple of awesome guests coming on, and you'll find that a little bit later. I'll be posting them on my Instagram and, asking you to get questions because, Swoop Luke isn't just about me, it's the community. So if I get a guest on, I want you to ask questions because that's what I want to do. That's just what it's been from day one for me. But that's going to be really exciting. Videos and all this stuff, and finals coming up. So finals vlogs, vlogs will be back. It's going to be a really, really interesting second half of the year or end to the year. Definitely into the footy season. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe to my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, I guess, if you want to, but no one really uses Facebook anyway, and of course YouTube. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please just consider subscribing, or not even consider subscribing, just hit that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it just supports the channel, so I really do appreciate it. But let's get into Team Talk. Collingwood take on Brisbane tomorrow night, or tonight if you're watching this on Friday, at Marvel. And we have had to make 3 forced changes. We kind of talked about this in the preview video. So we've got Jordan De Goey coming out of the team. We've got Darcy Moore coming out of the team with that hamstring injury. Then we've got Bobby Hill coming out of the team with a hamstring injury. Jordan De Goey, injury to his glute. If it was finals, they would probably push him to play, but it's not, so we don't have to worry about that. Give him a week to rest up. Bobby Hill had a bit of hamstring tightness or hamstring awareness on the track the other day, on the Wednesday, and there was no really any diagnosis or anything like that. So we don't really know the extent to which Bobby Hill has injured himself. So hopefully it's just a little bit of awareness, and it's not kind of like Darcy Moore where he'd be out for 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully, and that's the big word of today. Hopefully he gets up next week. If he doesn't, give him a rest then. Give him a rest until the first week of finals, because we need his explosiveness and his speed and his agility. If Bobby Hill doesn't have that in the team, it just makes us, we're really lackluster without that sort of speed and energy in that forward line. So we need him to be at his best. If that means giving him a week's rest next week, so be it. And I guess the same with Jordan De Goey as well. Especially if we beat Brisbane tomorrow and we sew up the minor premiership, I dare say we do manage, rest, whatever you want to call it, the players against Essendon the week after. Obviously, we still want to win that game as well, but if we sew up that minor premiership, I would anyway, personally, rest some players going into finals. And then you start that debate with like, okay, but we got the week off, and anyway, so if that time comes, we'll have another chat about it, but they are our outs. They are our outs for this game against Brisbane. Coming into the side though, we have Steele Sidebottom returning from his foot injury, so he comes straight into the side. I know we talked in the preview, maybe he could be the sub, but he looks good to go. I think they might have just managed him last week, so he's good to go. He'll come back in, play that wing role that he's been doing, before that Kangaroos game. He was probably in All-Australian form, and that's probably me being very biased, but he was probably in All-Australian form to play that wing role. So he comes back in, he will do that. Jacob Ryan debuts. We talked a little bit about him. He is a halfback, a running halfback, intercepting halfback. I think, without Nick Dacos, being able to push back into the halfback role now, I think Jacob Ryan coming into the side, and even Markov coming into the side, it lets us experiment more with players like John Noble, who can play sort of higher up the ground, on that wing. Isaac Quaid or Kane Corns came out and said, can he be a midfielder? Maybe we, chuck him in forward of centre a little bit, command that midfield and sort of stop any runs, stop any intercepts that are coming from the, or stop any Brisbane attacks that are coming, into that centre. So maybe we can, push those guys up a little bit. Jack Crisp, obviously he'll go maybe into the midfield. Braden Maynard, they've tried him in the midfield a couple of times as well. So I think Jacob Ryan and Markov down at half back does give us a lot of movement to do what we can with these players and try out new things, try out new combinations for that first week of finals. And obviously with Darcy Moore out, you've got Billy Frampton and Nathan Murphy. Jeremy Howe will push back as well. The last guy coming into the side is Jack Ginnivan. So He did so well, so well. 3 score involvements, sorry, 3 goal assists, 6 score involvements last week. Unselfish, and he gets that call up to be, you know, in the best 20 or in the best 22, starting on the field, and we get to see a full game of Jack, even though we pretty much saw, you know, a full game because he came on at quarter time. But still, so exciting, and I'm so happy for him. He's done a lot of work in the VFL, and now we get to see him go about it without Bobby Hill, and we know it really worked well, that 1-2 punch of Bobby Hill and Jack Ginnivan. So it's going to be interesting to see without Bobby Hill, but hopefully, even though I want him to be as unselfish as he can be, and he did really well last week, I want him to see sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck, kick 2 or 3 goals, because that would be absolutely incredible. I just want to see him kick 1 goal, especially because he's been out for the side for like 6 or something weeks, and then obviously didn't kick a goal last week, so we'd love to see him get reward for effort. We don't have a sub named, but in the emergency list, we got Ed Allen, Reece McInnes, Josh Carmichael, Mason Cox. I don't think they put Mason Cox as the sub. Josh Carmichael, I'm surprised he's named in that emergency list, because he did have something to do with his thumb, so he was an assess, so he must be okay to play. Reece McInnes, I think he'd be the one that gets the call up. Has done amazingly in the VFL. Kicked 4 goals last week. And then Ed Allen, another running winger. Maybe if... no, look, obviously it's not going to be Ed Allen, right? I was going to say maybe they can put him as a sub. We're not going to have 2 debutants. If we would have said already if we're going to have another debutant. So I think it is going to be Reece McInnes. A lot of talk about, would Finn McRae be that guy? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. Maybe next week. Maybe next week against Essendon. But I don't know. Maybe I honestly think he stays. I honestly think he still stays. He still has a year on his contract. And if someone wants him, they're going to have to be paying out their nose, because he is an absolute jet. He just can't fit into the team at the moment. For the Lions, coming into the side is Keaton Coleman, that speedy halfback. He'll provide a little bit of run for them. He's missed the last, I think, 2 weeks with an eye injury. Coming out of the side is Jack Gunston with that injury, like we talked about, and Jackson Pryor has been omitted. Their emergencies, they haven't named their sub, from what I can see. Their emergencies are Jared Lyons, Darcy Gardner, Darcy Fort, and James Tunstall. I think they'll give Jared Lyons a go as their sub. Another, kind of like Markov, he's just speedy, can use the ball really well, and I think they'll give him a go as the sub. But all in all, you know, I rate this team and these changes as 7, and only because we lose such good players, and a 7 isn't a reflection on who we brought in, like Ryan Steele and Ginnivan. It's more of a reflection of who we've got missing out. Darcy Moore, the captain, Jordan De Goey, and then Bobby Hill. So one of your best forwards, one of your best midfielders, one of your best defenders. So a hard 7 for this. Also, I should mention that with Darcy Moore out, coming in to the captaincy role is Braden Maynard. Of course, he's one of the vice captains, and now we get to see Captain Braden Maynard, which is huge. I not predicted it. I sort of said I would love to see Braden Maynard. Earlier in the week, I said I would love to see Braden Maynard as captain, and he's just been announced as captain, and hopefully it's for the next couple of games until Darcy Moore comes back. But that's very exciting to see. Oh man, we haven't beaten the Lions in the last 5 games. Let's make that change this Friday night. But again, thank you for watching another episode of Team Talk. Please hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Just hit it. I just want to, you know, there's so many people who are watching that aren't subscribed, so it would mean so much to me if you can hit that subscribe button. But until then, like, comment, subscribe. Tay family, tay friends, tay pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.